Well, hello everyone, all my subscribers. I haven't really done this kind of video before, but thought I'd just give a few thoughts on returning back to my home in South Denver after attending Burning Man in 2023. Um, I was fortunate enough to get a last-minute volunteer staff position working in the TSA Organics group, which means that I was involved with composting all of the food and commissary items that are used to feed all the staff. And Burning Man has grown now to be an event with up to 80,000 people. There are several thousand staff on site during the event, and many have been working for months or weeks ahead of the event. So unlike other people that come for 1 week and can fit all their food and water in their vehicle and then all of their trash on Exodus, the people that work are there for a much longer period, and we just don't have the capacity to do that. So and it's one of the things that is kind of a perk for doing work out there for staff positions is that you get fed really good food, and that's something that is a challenge on the playa. So it's good to have that burden lifted from your shoulders since you're working. And there's other benefits as well. I encourage anyone who loves Burning Man but hasn't been able to afford the tickets to look into volunteering next year if positions are available. We're looking for people that are good workers and can work with a diverse group of people. There's all kinds of personalities, and it's good to just have the type of attitude where you don't take too many things too personally and just let everyone do their thing, and you try to be a genuine person and do your thing and do your job. And if you do that, then you can work for the event. So I encourage you to do that. As far as my history, I first learned of Burning Man in 1994 when I was living in Los Angeles and frequenting coffee shops. There were flyers put out by the Los Angeles Cacophony Society for different events, and they had a zone trip out to the Black Rock Desert for one of the first several burns that had been done out there. Now in '94 I had a regular job and couldn't just drop everything and go to the event, so I just made a mental note, and the next year came around. I planned for going in 1995 and checked it out, and I did go. I bought my ticket for, I think it was $35 at a comic store or something in Los Angeles, and with my friend we packed up a car with a tent and a tarp and some poles to make a little makeshift shade, and water and some food and some drinks, and set off into the unknown to check out Burning Man. And that pretty much was a real eye-opener. It was not very structured or organized. There's a really good documentary you can look up on the event in '95, but there weren't a lot of people, and so they didn't need to have a lot of rules or organization. It was just kind of an experiment in self-organizing communities called the Temporary Autonomous Zone. And that was kind of the early impetus of this experiment that was Burning Man. Then I went, when I lived in Los Angeles for the next 10 years, I went 9 out of the 10 years. The only year I missed was in 1996. And so I went every year until 2004, and I saw the event growing and growing every year. But it was still pretty much authentic. Then I moved away from LA, and I didn't return to Burning Man until 2010. And that was the first year, it just so happened that it sold out just before the event. So that was an interesting year. I actually bought my tickets just a few days after it sold out. I was still obviously able to get tickets, but it was a big surprise that it sold out. I can't remember the exact population at that time, but it might have been 20,000 or something like that. And then The next year it sold out during the ticket sale, just immediately. And that was the start of when Burning Man changed, and scarcity entered the equation, and it became a bucket list item that everybody must do because it's something that's scarce and precious. Instead of just being available to most people that wanted to go, it now required, some commitment and more money every year. So I went in 2010 and 2011, saw big changes, of course, lots more LED lighting, and art cars had gotten bigger, and lots and lots more scale on the art, the temple, etc. And then I didn't go again until 2017. And again, saw huge changes. Some of the big changes were in terms of how things were done, less kind of volunteerism of people that showed up as participants, and more pre-planned teams that work on the different things, and less kind of just picking up hands at the event itself. It was kind of a big change I saw, going from the early 2000s until the later 2000 teens. And then again, 2023, this year, I worked for the first time I worked for DPW. So that was kind of like going to the event all over again for the first time. And really a rewarding experience to work with so many different people from different backgrounds, and a lot of them that had a lot of experience working in these different festivals and events around the world. Pretty hardcore group, and anyway, that was just a great experience. I'd highly recommend you looking into that. And then, and just in terms of what happened at the event, during the time that we were there at Build Week, we had a rain event that closed things down for several days. And of course, the people that are there are well prepared, and during Build Week, and veterans, so everybody just dealt with it and just kind of did everything slowly for a few days and got a little behind schedule. But by the time the gates opened, everything was running at full speed, and things were off to a great start. And I think everybody was having a great time as the population builds over the days. And then, of course, we had the second big rain that came on Friday, or Thursday night, and basically Thursday night, and shut things down for a couple days and caused this big media frenzy. And again, it ended up making my YouTube channel go viral, and that's why I'm giving this little talk right now. But what really happened to the people that were out there, I guess some people did make some bad decisions, but they didn't make those decisions in a vacuum, because as soon as anyone tried to move, they would have had a lot of people, explaining to them that they should stop what they're doing, don't try to leave, it'll dry, everything will be fine. And I apologize for my gum. I just noticed it's really pretty bright here, and very dry, and I always chew gum to keep my mouth going okay, not drying out. But let me just do a little swing around here and show you the view behind me. It's quite stunning here. Okay, back to it. I don't know, I hope this is still recording, and wanted to just finish it off and just say that, if you do any research, you'll find out that the trash ended up to not be a big problem. The reports from the people doing the cleanup are that it's much cleaner than in previous years. And a lot of the reasons that I stated before, such as, a lot of the people not being able to come in after Friday morning, those are a lot of the weekenders that really make a lot of the problems with things left and trash left. And those people weren't allowed to come, so the bulk of the trash wasn't left in the first place. And that's what I found out there and mentioned in my channel. And but for the people that stuck around, and for the rest of us, it really was a really kind of special time with a lot less people in crowds that are normally there, and just really the right amount of people when you're dancing, not an overcrowded amount of people. You could see like a headliner DJ at an art car and still go back and find your bike, and it wasn't surrounded by 20,000 other people, and go to a bar and they had extra booze, extra food. They were giving away. They were happy to have people enjoy what they had brought. They brought a lot expecting more people, and then people weren't there. So watching the burns when they happened 2 days late, again, much fewer people, were able to move around freely, enjoy, the different parts and different angles, and just really, really appreciated having fewer people and feeling a lot of community spirit, and sticking it out with the others that had made it, and just being very, very grateful to be there. And I think that's pretty much what I've been seeing from others that have been posting about their experience out there. So the amount of people that actually got stuck getting out was probably about 1% of the people. So you're talking just a few hundred people out of many tens of thousands. It's just, that's what the media focused on, instead of all the success and positivity of those other 99% that were enjoying themselves and feeling very special to be privileged enough to be there. So that's my thoughts for the day. Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for more on my channel.